Bom, vamos continuar o Alan Wake aqui então. A gente parou diretamente do último vídeo, né? Que a gente salva o Barry lá dos Corvos. Ele abre a porta, aí ele pede desculpa por ter duvidado da gente e já veio essa cutscene aí. Mas como o vídeo tava longo, eu encerrei e já vou começar a partir daqui. Então vambora.
I sent Barry to the town to ask around about a man fitting the kidnapper's description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper. Perhaps he could learn something. Anything about the island and the cabin that had disappeared. The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
Barry Wheeler speaking.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Could you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the town.
We'll be there in less than an hour.
I know.
See you soon.
Have a great day. Hope you come back soon. Welcome to the old
dear diner.
Good girl.
Ixi. Que tá acontecendo aqui, cara? Nossa. Que loucura, velho. Alan Wake. Fim do episódio 2. Agora a gente vai começar o terceiro episódio. Tô falando pra não tomar copyright. Vou tentar ao máximo não tomar copyright, senão vou ter que desativar o som de novo. Então, fim do episódio 2. Vamos pular.
Previously on Alan Wake.
Guarda
Alice
florestal
has
do
been
parque.
kidnapped.
Troféu conquistado.
Alice? I can't tell anyone except my agent Barry.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head.
The ransom is a manuscript I supposedly wrote that's coming true before my eyes.
It happened just the way it was on that page. So dark.
I have found only a few scattered pages.
I want the entire manuscript.
The deadline is in 2 days.
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Good girl.
Episódio 3, resgate.
How the hell did she get her hands on the manuscript anyway?
I don't know. She's resourceful. I told you were too hard on her. Listen, I found out all sorts of interesting stuff while I was digging around.
Yeah.
Mr. Wake, it's Sheriff Breaker. We have an FBI agent here, Agent Nightingale.
FBI.
He's anxious to see you. You'd better come to the station.
Okay, I'll be right over, Sheriff. Let's make this quick, huh?
Help you folks? Name's Randolph. I'm the manager.
We're looking for Rose. Works as a waitress down at the diner.
Rose, sure. Nice girl. Who wants to know?
I'm Alan Wake.
The writer, huh? I heard on the radio you were visiting. Well, I'll show you her trailer. That Rose, she's a nice girl. Always pays her rent on time.
As I was saying, Al, I found all sorts of weird stuff from the local newspaper's archives. This place is crazy. Disappearances, mysterious deaths, urban legends come true, and get this, most of this stuff takes place around Cauldron Lake.
Well, you ain't wrong, mister. The Indians thought the lake was a doorway to the underworld. I'm the God-fearing type myself. I don't hold with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Lago, portal.
Anyway, there was an island there owned by a guy called Thomas Zane. Now, some of the articles I found about him make him out to be a famous writer, but I ran a bunch of searches, couldn't find a single thing he wrote. Zane was heavily into diving, so much so that the place came to be called Diver's Isle. But the volcano under the lake erupted in 1970, and Zane went down with the island.
Ixi, que loucura, cara. O cara sumiu junto. Eita. Irmão, eu sei que é difícil, mas dá pra você andar mais rápido aí. Randolph.
It gets better. A local girl, Barbara Jagger, drowned in Cauldron Lake just a week earlier. They were lovers.
Sure, Jagger's a local spook store. The Scratching Hag. Comes for you
Não
in
é
the
aqui que
dark.
ela mora ainda.
Childish stuff like that.
Anyway, Al, I'm just getting to the best part. All of the articles about this stuff were written by Cynthia Weaver. I asked around, and she's that crazy bag lady you met.
What, the lamp lady? She can be a little loopy, but she's not homeless or anything.
Yeah, anyway, she knew both Jagger and Zane before they both died, and she had some kind of a breakdown.
O Alan só escutando. Tô entendendo. Diga, prossiga.
Well, mister,
Amanhã
this
nós
here's
chega.
Rose's trailer. You mind me asking what you want with her?
We're just here to talk to her, pal.
Tem uma garrafa de café ali, hein? Olha ela aqui na porta já.
Welcome to... Oh dear. Mr. Wake. I'm so glad you're here.
Rose, you have my manuscript?
Oh. Oh yes. Yes. Please, come in.
Ela ainda tá zoada.
Hey, this is really good. Rose,
Yes,
my manuscript. I really need it.
I understand. I know what you need. A muse to inspire you.
Oh, for Barry? She doesn't have anything.
Yeah, hey, Al? Al, what's... Oh...
Barry! What? What?
Não devia ter aceitado o café, cara.
It's coming for you, hiding in my barber's skin. I'm too weak to stop it. You must turn the lights on.
Nossa.
I come visit you and your lovely wife. You must finish what you started. I insist.
You must turn the lights on. Turn the light on.
Back to work, boy.
I felt nauseous.
Ali na TV era um ator de verdade, né?
Kept me going.
I can't tell reality from dream anymore.
Esse cara é o ator de verdade.
I have an imaginary editor to help me. She's an old woman in a funeral dress. I call her Barbara Jagger. She's very strict. I'm writing faster and faster. My manuscript is being heavily revised. The edits are getting very aggressive, and each day there's less of me and more of her. I hate it, but I know she's right. She promises me I can save Alice this way. She knows more of this than I do. About the complex incantation I'm attempting. About this place. She's worked with another writer under similar circumstances, Thomas Zane. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I'm getting close. I can feel it.
Rose took a day from me. I had less than 12 hours left to meet the kidnapper. All I could do was get Barry into the car, work something out once I got on the road.
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner. What can I get you today? Coffee?
I couldn't work up much hate for Rose. Something had used her to get to me and left its mark.
First refill is free.
My gun and flashlight were gone. I'd have to find a way to get Barry into the car as quickly as possible. There was no time to waste.
Tá, mais manuscrito. Randolph chama a
Mr. Randolph
polícia.
liked Rose. That little smile she had. How she was still sweet when life had tried so hard to make her bitter. It wasn't any of his business what she did in her trailer. But those strangers, the writer and his smart-ass sidekick, looked like trouble. And they'd been in there for hours, way past her normal bedtime. He reached for the phone and called the sheriff's station.
Isso aí vai dar problema. Ah, não dá pra ligar esse rádio pra mim ver a historinha, não?
I just stepped outside to catch a breath of fresh air. Let me tell you, the weather's getting heavy. Nights like this make me especially glad I'm here talking to you and not home in bed. Once the weather takes a turn like this, I can't sleep at all. It's all tangled bed sheets and dark thoughts, punctuated by the occasional plunge into nightmare. Is it just me? Well, perhaps it is. But I hope I can make the night a little bit easier to get through. Caller?
KBF FM. Ai, ai, nossa, soquei o microfone, velho. Deixa eu ver se o áudio tá bom depois dessa socada do microfone, velho. Tá bom. O áudio tá bom, o áudio tá bom. Soquei o microfone com tudo, cara.
Well, you sound like a man with a problem, Walt.
I had argument with Danny. Danny, and, then I got in trouble with the law, and, I'm just, well...
I heard something like that, Walt.
Yeah, well, he's, Danny's my best friend, and, they let me out on bail today, and now I'm just alone here at the window, waiting. Man, and there's something in the air tonight, man.
I was just outside looking up at the sky above our broadcast tower thinking the same thing. What are you waiting for, Walt?
I don't know. Something's gonna happen. I think I better go.
Well, Walt, maybe...
No, thanks, Pat.
Well, good luck to you, Walt. Hang in there. Let's take a little break, folks. This weather's really something else, huh?
How can I be sure?
Do nada, aí começa a música. Nem lembro de onde eu vim.
Oh, you're gonna get it now. God knows what you've done to that poor girl.
This is Agent Nightingale, FBI! Get him up, Hemingway! You're under arrest! You move a muscle, I'll unload right in your goddamn face! Stay right where you are, Slane!
What are you? I'm standing right here, you goddamn maniac!
Que loucura, cara.
I hated to leave Barry behind, but there was no way I'd miss my appointment with the kidnapper.
Eu ainda vou sair como vilão dessa história, é isso mesmo?
There he is! We have the suspect in sight! Okay, men, keep your eyes peeled. We're gonna try to make it through here.
Oh, damn.
Escapuliu. Quanta gente atrás de mim, cara.
For decades, the darkness that wore Barbara Jagger's skin slept fitfully in the dark place that was its home and prison. It was hungry and in pain. It dreamed of its nights of glory when the poet's writing had called it from the depths and given it a brief, terrible taste of power and freedom. The rock stars had stirred it from the deep sleep the poet had sunk it back to in the end. When it sensed the writer on the ferry, it opened its eyes.
Ela abriu os olhos. Vixe, então ela despertou quando o Alan chegou, então. Aquela mulher de preto lá. Tem coisa brilhando aqui, hein?
Rose didn't know how the strange old lady got in her trailer, and she looked wrong somehow. The woman showed her teeth in an approximation of a smile and traced a finger down Rose's cheek. "Pretty girl," she said. Rose felt as if she was falling asleep, but her knees didn't buckle. The crone spoke in a whisper, her words ice cold and dark in Rose's ear.
Vixe. Tá maluco, cara. Ó. Search the area. Deixar os caras tudo morrendo, ó. Eu só quero uma lanterna e um revólver, cara.
This horror was everywhere I went, circling me. The cops didn't stand a chance. They were after a writer, not a monster.
Not a monster. Oh, valeu. Será que ele tá me vendo? Ei, caramba. Ixi. Já era o... Já era. Já era o helicóptero. Já era o helicóptero, cara. Acabou com o helicóptero. Esses corvos também. Tá maluco, cara. Tem alguém aqui em cima? Ah, é um observador. Só um ponto de observação, cara. Deixa eu ver o que aconteceu. Nossa. Acessibilidade alta.
This is James. Mulligan, Thornton, come in. Over. Thornton here. James, we got both Wheeler and Rose in custody. They didn't put up a fight or anything. Why, they were... Hey, Mulligan, what you... Come on! Sit down and give me that. James, Mulligan here. Over. Go ahead, Mulligan. Over. We got Wheeler and Rose here. Wheeler's drunk or hopped up on something. Speaking of which, that Fed had a pretty distinctive whiff of Otis Scotch about him, you know what I mean. Over. I don't have anything on that, Deputy Mulligan. Over.
Well, whatever. Anyway, Rose is just being plain weird here. You better get Doc in to take a look at both. Over.
Gotcha. You better get them here quickly. The Fed's gonna want to interview Wheeler. Over.
Oh, yeah, I bet it does. Looks like they have a lot in common. I'll look it out.
Ó, só os policiais falando mal da gente, filho.
I imagined that the broadcast tower in the distance was part of the local radio station. Maine seemed like a decent guy. Perhaps he could give me directions to the coal mine.
Ah, qual foi? O jogo não vai me deixar me defender, cara.
Unnatural shadows clung to the gate. The darkness that was after me was trying to stop me. I wouldn't get through without a light. The old generator conked out. I'd have to see if I could fix it and try again.
Negócio pra me dar dano ali atrás, ó. Ah, achou que eu não ia ver, né, jogo? Mas eu vi. Eu vi. O Alan Wake é igual o Sebastian lá do Devil Within. Tem pulmão de velho. Não aguenta correr, cara. Oh, beleza. A lanterna já tá aqui. Só falta o revólver.
It took me a moment to recognize the flashbang grenades. They were an ideal weapon for my situation.
Granada de luz. Apertei pra desviar, cara.
And here's another call. You're on KBFFM with Pat Maine.
It's Milt Peabody, Pat.
What's on your mind, Milt?
Well, I live near the trailer park, Pat, and there's a big ruckus going on over there.
Well, that's just up the road from me, too. What's going on, do you know?
I don't know, but there's a bunch of police cars there, lots of sirens, a helicopter buzzing around, and I think I heard some gunshots.
Gunshots?
Yes, sir, like from a pistol. So can you find out what's going on? Because it's just next door, and they're popping off guns there.
They're still shooting?
No, it was maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. It sounds serious, Pat. I'm telling you, it don't sound like no party.
Well, I'm certainly going to give the station a call, Milt.
Okay.
You'll hear it here as soon as I hear from them.
Okay, thanks.
Ô, velho, queria pegar a página do manuscrito aqui, ó. Véi, você é chato, hein, mano. Puta bicho chato. Ah, a luz sumiu daqui também.
Touched by the dark presence, Rose was lost in a dreamland where everything was drawn in black and gray crayons. The old lady had promised her that all her wishes would come true. She would be Alan Wake's muse. She was smiling so hard it hurt her face. She crushed a bottle full of sleeping pills into the coffee. Deep down inside, she was screaming in terror.
Olha lá, velho, ele já cansou. Que é isso? Ele é morto. Tem que ficar aqui assim, ó. Uma caverninha. Né, que coisa. Tem pistola sinalizadora também. Ô, velho, você vai lançar ou não essa merda? Tô apertando o botão, ele não joga essa porcaria dessa granada, cara. Fica difícil também, hein? Tô vendo que esse episódio aqui a gente só vai jogar assim. Ah, velho, você tá de sacanagem com a minha cara, velho. Não tacou a merda da granada. Como sempre. Como sempre, você tá apertando a porcaria do botão, parece que é à toa. Ah, tomar banho, cara, que saco. E, ó, é pra jogar aqui, ó. Cadê a porcaria da granada, cara? Cadê? Não joga. Ah, larga a mão, velho. Nossa vida. É uma coisa que nada, viu? Toma banho essa porcaria, cara. Olha lá, e tá morto já, ó. Morto do caramba também. Tá bom o jogo. Dá cego. Aff, velho, não aguenta correr, velho. Tá de brincadeira, ele é sedentário, esse Alan Wake aí. Também só fica sentado escrevendo. Ah, vá merda também, vai. Toma isso aí, quero nem saber. Ô, bicho sedentário. Olha isso aqui, velho. Ele corre um pouquinho, ele já cansa. Trouxa.
I I hope Maine could lend me a car to get to the coal mine.
Oh, why, hello, Lorna. What do you have for us? Well,
Let the trash sort themselves out. I'm sorry, but my granddaddy settled in Bright Falls in 1911.
well, thank you very much for that compassionate viewpoint, Lorna. Oh, here's a little surprise. The famous writer Alan Wake just walked in, folks. I'm going to see if I can talk him into an interview.
Come on in. Oh, I'm so glad you could find the time to do this, Mr. Wake.
Nowhere to run now, Dan Brown. You back away from me. Don't hurt.
Whoa. Everyone calm down. Put the gun down. We're all friends here, right?
Cool your jets, Nightingale. We got him.
Judas Priest!
What the hell's the matter with you? There's a civilian in there.
É, esse policial aí não... Mano, água aqui, velho. Tá muito calor. Ah, mas larga a mão, cara. Que é isso aí? O policial aí tá louco.
Cliffs, it was ridiculous. That's what you get for naming a book The Sudden Stop. It was probably good I hadn't had the chance to tell Maine where I was going. I'd have to lose the cops and find my own way to the mine. Nightingale stared through the broken studio window into the dark woods. He turned around, started to walk out, but Maine grabbed his arm. Young man, you almost shot me. You don't shoot off rounds at people like that. What's the matter with you? Nightingale shook his arm free, marched out. His cheeks burned with rage and humiliation.
Eu quero meu revólver, cara. Cadê o revólver? Eu quero meu revólver. Vai ter treta aqui, ó. Eu tô vendo o tirador aqui, ó. Ah, acendi primeiro já. Seus trouxas. Ah, finalmente, né? Já tava na hora. Passou da hora. Cara, a questão desses bichos aí não dar munição, eu nem ligo, tá ligado? O jogo fica dando bastante munição, então tá tranquilo. Quero ver o que tem aqui em cima. Será que tem alguma coisa? Acho que não. Oh, mas se tem um lugarzão pra subir aqui, alguma coisa tem, hein? Eu acho que deve ter sim alguma coisa aqui. Será que a gente vai subir de novo na torre de rádio? Mano, não é possível isso aqui, cara. Se não chegar nunca lá em cima... Vamos dar entrevista pro carinha aqui. Eu espero que tenha uma 12 aqui, hein. Ah, tem um colecionável. Não, é munição mesmo, ó. Manuscrito.
Danny had stepped out, but what stumbled back in was something else. Something alien. A monster. Walter tried to kill it, first with his fists, then a chair. It wouldn't die. Instead, it kept coming, unaffected by the beating it had taken. After Walter managed to kick it down the cellar stairs, fear took over. He ran, got behind the wheel, gunned the engine. The booze wouldn't make him forget, but he knew he had to try.
Tá bom. Tá, a gente veio aqui basicamente por um colecionável e 2 sinalizadores. Agora a gente vai descer 5 minutos de morro pra chegar no lago lá, na estação de trem. Lago, por que eu falei lago? Ah, que é isso aí, velho? Que susto, cara. Vou colocar o silenciador, o sinalizador. O meu português tá bom hoje, velho. Ah, vem ele, mano. Ah, se pá que não, não vou gastar sinalizador não. Chegamos. Tá, agora a questão da munição é um problema. Tô ficando sem.
There was no sensible reason for the power company work lights to be here. It was almost as if they'd been left for someone like me to use.
Ah. Tem alguma coisa ali, ó. Outro manuscrito. Wake atacado por uma escavadeira. Ixi.
Mud and rocks flew as it fought for traction. It crashed through the concrete wall and landed heavily in the yard. If it were an animal, it would have shaken its head after the impact, fixed its eyes on me, and charged. Of course, it had no head, nor eyes. Shadows crawled on its form, twisting it into a monster. Then, it came for me.
Bom, a gente já sabe que a gente vai enfrentar mais pra frente, então, hein? Escavadeira do mal. Ah, escavadeira, fantasma. Versão brasileira, Herbert Richard. Outro manuscrito. Sarah desconfia de Nightingale. Sarah é a xerife, né?
He felt wrong, and it wasn't just the smell of stale booze. It was in the way he flashed his badge, pulled rank, the look in his eyes when he wanted answers. Where was Alan Wake? What was this about an accident? Where was his wife? And most importantly, why did she let Wake go? He wouldn't answer her questions. Federal business was all he'd say.
Eu acho que ele deve estar dominado pela sombra também. Olha o trem. Te vi aí.
Hello?
The most stubborn man I've ever met.
Alice? Alice?
Alan. Alan. I'm so afraid. Keeps me in the dark. Please help me. I look at you, Alan, and it's not you. Something else. Looking out from behind your eyes.
Alice, I'm here.
I'm so alone here. It's all gonna go to hell. You need to be careful. Cooperate.
The connection had been terrible, but that wasn't the only thing that hadn't been right with the call. She sounded wrong somehow, but she had called me.
Wake atacado por objeto possuído.
Itself loose from the bridge's steel framework. Wrapped in darkness, it floated in midair, twitching. For a moment, I didn't understand what I was looking at. The heavy object lurched at me with impossible force. I threw myself out of the way, but just barely. When I turned my flashlight on it, it shook in a dark rage, before it flew at me again.
Eu, hein? Calma aí, Calabreso. Tá muito nervoso. Ah, parou, velho. É a primeira vez que eu sou atacado depois de pegar um lugar bônus aqui, cara. Esses negocinho aí. Só acho que eu já tava preparado, velho. Dá pra perceber.
And a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore. I hoped I could find a car from there.
Será que é agora que esse tubo aí vai vir pra cima de mim, cara? E eu, hein? Tem um tubo ali na frente, hein? Olha o tubo aí, ó.
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
Ai, ai. Ô, velho, tá de sacanagem. Essa lanterna aí é muito ruim, velho. Acho que devia ter tacado o sinalizador, né? É agora que os tubos começam a me atacar mesmo. Mas não tem saída, essa é a questão. Não tinha saída ali, velho. Não sei se eu tenho que ficar lutando com essas porcarias dessas...
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
Ah, isso, Alan Wake. Agora é uma ótima hora. Você... Sai da minha frente. Olha isso aí, cara. Que palhaçada. Olha lá. Ah, você tá tacando a lanterna na coisa, a coisa tá vindo ainda, velho. Quer que eu faça o quê? Ah, vai voltar lá atrás, velho. Ah, que merda. Tem hora de falar a verdade pra você. Tem hora que eu... Não sou muito fã dessas roubalheiras aí não, cara. Pô, quer que eu faça o quê, velho? Essa porcaria desse idiota aqui não consegue correr. Tem asma, sei lá o que ele tem. Ele dá duas corridinhas assim. Olha lá, já cansou. Olha lá. Um sedentário. Olha lá, não corre. E quer que eu faça o quê? E fica com essa câmera lenta idiota aí também, velho. Quer que eu faça o quê, câmera lenta? Não vai fazer nada. Vai, merda. Sai do meu caminho. Olha lá. Véi, você quer que eu faça o quê? Tá cancelizador? Ah, olha que palhaçada, cara. Ah, velho. Nossa, você tá de brincadeira, velho.
I hope I could find a car from there.
Idiotice, mano. Essa lanterna aqui é um lixo. Esse idiota que não corre. Não sei o que é pior, velho. Essas mecânicas imbecil aqui ou a mecânica do Decalixto Protocol de ficar só desviando e batendo, velho. Não sei qual que é pior. Pô, até agora eu tô gostando do jogo, tô gostando muito, mas é muito imbecil essas mecânica ruim aqui, velho. Essa câmera lenta aí. Ah, eu tô tomando tapa já. Olha lá. Você que faça o que, cara? Meu Deus do céu. Ó, o idiota já cansou, velho.
As a teenager, just starting to get interested in writing, Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all the inanimate objects that had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
Ah. Lanterna resistente. Vamos ver se é resistente mesmo. Ixi, eu fiquei nervoso já, velho. Uma xícara de café das boas. É o que eu tô precisando. 25 garrafas de café. Não, eu achei que tinha travado aqui, velho. Pô, velho, mas essa mecânica aí foi muito ruim, velho. Você ficar espalhando sinalizador, beleza. Mas olha isso aqui, cara. Nenhuma criança cansa desse jeito. Do jeito que ele cansa aqui. Não é possível, não é possível. Ele tem asma. Isso aí não é possível isso aí não, velho. Sobe! Meu Deus do céu. Quase que eu tomo. Tá, agora tá faltando só aquela escavadeira, furadeira, vir pra cima também. Fala, Calabriso. Ah, velho, tá de brincadeira, né? Ah, mais um episódio desse negócio aí. Nossa, que calor, cara. Meu Deus do céu. Night Springs.
Journalist Alvin Durleth's trip to study the local customs of an insular community in Night Springs has been less than successful. Until tonight.
Well, I'm glad you changed your minds about this. Ancient customs, local mythology. My editor loves this kind of stuff.
Well, Mr. Durleth, we don't want to feel like we're on exhibition, but you have demonstrated the seriousness of your intent.
Oh, I am serious. Really, just do your thing. I'll stay out of your way and observe.
Actually, I thought you could assist us. I'm afraid we are a man short. It would provide you with an intimate perspective.
Could I really? Of course, Mr. Durleth. Well, I guess that's the least I... What would I have to do?
Oh, here. Let me show you with a kiss.
Ela vai matar ele agora, né?
Shh, darling. Be calm. Shh.
Alvin Durleth learned a harsh lesson. If you go looking for mythology, it may come looking for you. And such quests always bear fruit. Night Springs.
Essa série aí tá da hora, velho.
The darkness surged towards me, sucking everything loose from the ground into its depths, tugging at my clothes. I saw the flare the kidnapper had dropped and threw myself towards it just as I felt my feet leave the ground. The darkness embraced me with the force of a tornado. Somehow I managed to light the flare. The darkness roared and cast me away. I fell toward the dark waters of the lake far below.
Tá. Então a gente pode esperar tudo isso aí, velho. Teremos treta aqui. Quem acha que não, é só olhar esse... Ah, lá o que é, velho. Pode crer. Eita. Metal pesado. Foi. Ô, mano, não é possível que isso aqui tá tão fácil assim, cara. E olha que isso aqui tá normal ainda. Pô, esse jogo aqui é muito fácil, né? Questão de luta, cara. Ele é mais complicadinho nessas outras coisas ali que você viu lá. Que pedaço de coisa sendo jogado em mim lá. Aquilo lá foi difícil, mas de resto... De resto foi tranquilo, mano. Sem problema nenhum. Nossa, tô bugado com esse portão aqui, velho. Não sei pra que lá tá abrindo. Tá abrindo os dois lados. Bom, eu vou encerrando por aqui então esse episódio. A gente continua no próximo daqui, ó. Bright Falls Like Power. Luz e força, força e luz. Então, muito obrigado por ter assistido. Ó, vai ter lá na lua, ó, a lanterna. Tamo junto, vejo vocês no próximo episódio. Valeu, falou e eu fui.